guys. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, guys.
Another episode, Unsighted.
Thank you for having us here. I have a question for you guys.
Oh, so we're not asking the questions. You are.
We're gonna
asking the
switch a little
questions.
bit.
All right,
We're gonna switch a little bit.
I like
Ooh,
that.
I like this.
Let's go.
Interesting.
I wanted to catch you guys off guard.
Jesus.
So, what do you think are key principles of starting a relationship? And I'll give you a time frame to make it more exact. The first 6 months.
Repeat the question again one more time.
What do you guys think it's a key principle? Is a key principle when it comes to starting a like a relationship in the first 6 months?
First things first. Love yourself.
That's a good one.
That's insightful.
Yeah. I relate.
If you don't love yourself, you cannot love somebody else, bro. That's the first thing. The second thing, I think it will be knowing what you want, bro. Really, like, I mean, if you don't know what you want, then what are you trying to get into? I mean,
But when you say what you want from that person, with that person, for your personal life.
okay, what I meant was, where would you like to get to in life with somebody,
Okay.
right? I don't know what Orly thinks of this.
This is going to be interesting.
Fuck. So, from my personal experience, you want me to give you my like
that's the only-
how but like how I see it now.
And I'm
from
gonna
what
go
I've-
back to answering that question.
How I
with
see it now
more.
from what I've experienced from starting relationships in general.
Yeah.
Of course. I feel like we all have
Yeah.
to go through a certain amount of relationships in order to really find out what it is that you're looking for.
Or what you've done wrong and what you could have done better
Exactly.
for yourself or for the other person. I think that you should also not set like not in like a set of rules or some type of thing, but if you start getting to know somebody, make sure you communicate a lot about what you both want and what you both want from this starting relationship. I'm not saying like, oh, we're gonna get married, because that's a scary word, or I love you. Or see, maybe you fall in love in an instant, but I'm not saying that. I'm saying basically tell each other what you want to build from, like from both of you. Like I don't, what I'm trying to tell you. I'm not good with words.
I understand you perfectly.
So basically, like know each other in a deeper level of actually talking about stuff that you be uncomfortable talking about.
Yeah.
Because it builds for a better relationship if you do that in the beginning. Let's say you start to get to know somebody in the beginning, but you don't tell them all the stuff because you're afraid of them pushing away, knowing you completely. And then they start knowing you because it comes out naturally sometimes, who you are. And then they're not liking that version of you. So be yourself at 100% in the beginning. All right, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. Not like she has to like it, but I'm just letting you know because I don't want you later to, maybe you met me and you know this version of me. I want you to know who I am really. Because I feel like a lot of relationships, from my experience, they start by you portraying not who you are fully. And then that full person comes out later without you noticing.
But
from
that
my
happens.
experience.
That happens in every single relationship. We portray to be somebody right before the relationship because you have this main idea of you wanting to impress, right, the other person. And then once you get into the relationship, you obviously start seeing the back end of who that person really is, or that person sees who you really are.
Would
you
it
know?
make it easier? I'm thinking because I don't know. I think it will make it easier if at the beginning you kind of like talk, try to inform it in a way who you are, who you like. Because sometimes we like to do something and you overthink and you're like, coño, maybe if I say that, she's going to push away because she might be like, it's weird or it's not. But then you got to be like, think, well, you know what? I'm going to say it anyways because if I don't, maybe it comes out one day naturally, and then it's too late, and then it's like, coño, I didn't know this about you. So
And and if and if you're saying it the other way, it looks like you're manipulating.
no, but you could be like, let's say you say, I'll give you an example. Hey, I like smoking weed a lot. I'll give you like a simple example, right? Maybe you don't tell that person you do that a lot. But you tell her, oh yeah, I smoke. But you don't tell her I smoke a lot, mostly every day, because you're impressed and you don't want to lose her. But then eventually she's gonna find out because the truth is
Right,
out.
but you're
So
you
why
don't-
not tell her?
because no tienes la confianza.
No, let's say you do have la confianza. Let's say you're already
How?
like, let's say you're like, well, he said like starting.
If you
a-
have la confianza, then that person knows you.
but that's what I'm saying. Like if you're starting a relationship, you should be completely honest of who you are.
So transparency is huge, right? But I believe humans are like icebergs. You only see the top surface. And then when you get into the nitty-gritty of the relationship is when you see everything, right?
Well, but I'm answering his question.
Yeah.
Like,
Right. And I'm agreeing with your point. I think communicating, but I think trust is also a big thing. you
oh no,
know?
yeah, that definitely.
If you go into a relationship and you're so forthgoing and you're trusting and you come up and you just bladder whatever it is you want to say out of your mouth, and then this person's looking at you like,
Well-
that's not what I expected. There's an expectation to everything.
Yeah.
And you're not going to want to, if you really like this person and if you really want to be with this person, you're not going to want to derail what they already have in mind of you to something completely different, right?
But then you're not being. What I'm saying is you have to be completely yourself, even if the other person doesn't like it. Because then why would you start a relationship with somebody that at the end you know that she's not gonna like who you are completely? You're like suppressing yourself, who you really are. Even if who you really are, you don't even like yourself.
Okay,
I think there's somebody out there for everybody. And I think that if you're completely honest for who you are, your flaws, I'm not saying, of course, you're not gonna give like, deep details about like certain things because it's common sense. It's gonna be like, "Hasta tú mismo te asusta." But I'm saying like things that might matter in the future with that person.
So
Let's say it like that.
So, for example, I believe that a lot of relationships in the first 6 months, like they don't last. First 6 months, something bad happens, they don't see it going anywhere else, and they stop. And it mostly has to do, believe it or not, with somebody bringing some sort of baggage into the relationship. So, for example, when I used to hear the word baggage, I used to immediately think about your past experiences. But I'm talking way before that. We are all born in a household. And that's the only thing that we see for the first couple of years that, we're born. So at some point in our life, we tend to realize that, the way that our parents treated their relationship is not maybe, the same way that we like to treat our relationship. So, like that's when I talk about baggage. You start to bring that baggage from your father figure or your mother figure into that relationship. And that person comes from a whole different household that you don't even know. So maybe I think it's more about being a little more like open-minded in the sense of molding into what that person has to teach you as that person wants to mold into what you have to teach them.
Yes, I agree with that. And going back to the question, one important thing to keep in mind is you should always try to go for somebody that is going to give you, not take away from you. And not only that, somebody that will not limit you from the things that you find that they give you happiness and or the things that you enjoy doing. Find somebody that will support you in those things. You will obviously have to like balance it out because like you said, you're gonna basically merge into somebody else and you're gonna mold into that person, wanting it or not. That's something that's just inevitable.
Naturally happens.
It naturally happens.
But now,
Like you get into a relationship today, and 2 years from now, you're not gonna be the same person. Your perspective changes completely. Your
now-
habits, everything.
Okay, but now, do you think in those 6 months you have enough time to really know if that person is going to give or take away?
No, I don't think that's enough.
You don't, but we're also
don't.
adults.
So the
Right.
whole time you're testing water, you're seeing where this goes as you're trying to learn from it, but also give it your best at the moment.
As a man, bro, I'll be completely honest with you. We're animals, so
What do you- what do
like
you
my
mean?
my evaluation period is like probably like a month. I don't know, bro. I'm
So
horrible
you
with that.
fall in love quick?
Yeah,
I
you
got-
can say that.
I got a question. Do you think starting a relationship, it should be longer getting to know each other? Like, you don't get to know each other in 6 months, who you really are, both of you, in 6 months. Do you think it should be longer? Like, like really wait until you make it official? I mean,
So
more than like 6 months is not enough for that? Or do you think it's too much? Or it's
So-
already enough?
So to be honest, at least me, I'm the type of man that I enjoy hobbies a lot. But every 6 months, I'll change my hobby. So like I used to play airsoft, for example. I don't play airsoft anymore. Now I do something else. So I feel like your entire relationship, whether it's a month or 10 years, you're always evolving. So I really don't think you should put a time frame on when you make it official. I think
Yeah.
if it comes naturally, it happens naturally, and if it comes to an end, you're able to say, I gave this person my all and what I thought was right at the moment.
And
Now-
not every person falls in love with the same momentum. You get what I'm
No.
saying? Like, you may fall in love like in 2 days. Some other person may
Take
it
'em
may
a year.
take
It could take them a year.
A year, exactly.
Now, I want to go back to what I asked you before. Do you think that, like Johnny was saying, that sometimes you get into relationships, but it withholds you from doing things that you like? That's what you said, something like that. Do you think that sometimes we start relationships and we do that to impress the other person, but then you forget about that you're doing that, right? And then it's already too late to be like, oh no, I like this. But then she could tell you, but you didn't tell me that in the beginning. You should have told me that, you know? Not like so it makes it for like como que chocan ahora because you should have told me that earlier in the relationship that you were into this, you know? But now you didn't tell her that in the beginning because sometimes we feel like, coño, if I tell her that, she might not be impressed, but I really like this girl, you know? So I want to keep her. So do you think we should change? I mean, I don't know, as man, that mentality to be like, no, man, you gotta be honest. I mean, depending what you like also, but I'm talking about normal stuff. Like, let's say
Yeah.
you like playing football every weekend, or I'll give you like something simple. But you think she might not like that or something, and you withhold it from her, and then she sees it later because you're like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna go. Then the next weekend, I'm gonna go again, and she's like, wait, you go tomorrow? I said, yeah, I like doing this. And then she might like be like, oh, but you should have told me that because I don't really want you to go. You know, I'm giving you like an example of somebody.
That personally has never happened to me just yet, but I do think it does happen. And at the end of the day, I also do think that your partner is sometimes going to go ahead and do things with you that she personally doesn't like doing, but she does it for you, and also vice versa. For example, who here likes to go to the mall just to walk around and go shopping? I don't. But,
Negative, not for me.
But
I like it.
It depends though, because
I like
if
it.
Depends.
I've done some crazy stuff to just have a few minutes with that person because I
Everybody
enjoy
here,
so
bro.
much.
I think everybody goes through that, man.
Everybody.
So that's what I'm
I
saying.
honestly
Like,
do.
it depends. If you're starting the relationship, I'll go shopping with a girl every day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
when you're in that honeymoon
In the
phase,
honeymoon
you,
phase.
you'll,
Yeah.
anything will
But
sound
now-
right to you.
but
like,
now-
hey, let's go pick up strawberries. you
Yes,
know?
baby. Yes, I
yeah,
love doing
I
this.
love doing this. Oh my god, my favorite thing
3
to
months
do on
later,
a Sunday
3
morning.
months
Let's
later,
go.
I don't want to fucking pick strawberries.
Like, bro, strawberries today again? Like, what?
listen,
Give me a break.
But that comes like with the whole transparency thing, right? You want to be transparent, but you also want your partner to be transparent with you.
You know what it comes into play with? I think when you find the right person, Like I used to have an ex-girlfriend that she was into country. I didn't like country at the moment. I didn't like it at all. But sometimes I made her feel like shit, I'm gonna be honest, because I didn't like doing that. And that was wrongful of me, right? If I really was into that person and I really did, enjoy that time with her, even if I didn't, I would do it just to make her feel happy. You know what I'm saying? And she will do something for you that makes you feel happy because if it makes you feel happy, she should be happy. And if you know that makes her feel happy, then you do it for her because it makes you happy that she's happy. But when you don't find the right person, even it's going to be a point that you're trying to make her happy, but then she doesn't do it for you. So that's when it comes like, coño, then who cares more, me or you in the relationship? So it just depends. When you find the right person, it all clicks.
6 months is not enough.
But it does take work. To be in a relationship, it does take work from both
I
parties.
mean, in general, for me, 6 months is like
No.
it's like six
6
years.
Yeah, no. I do think that everything, as long as both of you are willing to communicate and put in the work, and you have a clear understanding that all you're doing is evolving, because you don't grow knowing it all. And you could be 50 and you're still learning. So if you both have a clear understanding of that and you're able to communicate with each other and you have the right intentions for each other, then I really don't think you should have a really big problem.
But I think it goes back to what Orly said. It takes work.
Work.
You gotta work at it. And 6 months isn't enough.
No.
So any relationship is gonna be a constant reminder of, hey, this is what I have to do because I love this person. Well, not have to, but this is what I want to do because I love this person.
Yeah.
And I feel like that comes with anything. I mean, you guys know me for a long time already, and I've never liked salsa music in my life. And in my current relationship, I've learned to love it. I've even learned how to dance it. Am I proficient at it? No, I'm not. By no means.
And one thing that I noticed, you don't stop the other person from doing it.
No.
Because
You don't. Exactly, because you love them.
Yeah.
You love them. If you love somebody, you're not going to stop. Now, if it's something that is obviously harmful to them,
Yeah.
you'd want them to stop.
And
right?
you talk about it. You be like,
Exactly.
"Hey,
You
listen,
talk about
babe,
it. It's not like you're going to force them, but it's a constant, that person should be a constant reminder of what makes them happy, makes you happy, and vice versa. Because that's what makes a relationship work.
I feel that it takes two to tango. So I feel like she has to know when she's doing something wrong. You have to know when you're doing something wrong. They have to care, and you have to care. If it's not, there could be like she cares more, you care a little bit more, but you both have to care for each other, to work. There is communication, trust. It's just basic things that but sometimes like me, for example, I forget because I want to impress her. I like her a lot, and I do certain things that I shouldn't do. If I tell her, it's not wrong, but I don't tell her to impress her. But that's wrong. Not telling her to impress her is wrong because you're lying already, and you're starting a relationship, even if it's something dumb. But a little lie for you, could be a big lie for her. You know what I mean? Later on, so.
Yeah, and those red flags at the beginning of the relationship, those are key, bro. I think you should stay super woke in the beginning of the relationship.
Yeah. So, for example, for us, one of the biggest issues I think at first is the whole salsa dancing, and it gets to the point that if your partner doesn't salsa dance, are they really understanding why it is that you do it?
I could give you an example because I had my ex-girlfriend. She liked salsa. She wanted to learn, but she didn't have time for it. But she never, I could say this because it's the truth. She never stopped me from salsa dance. So she never made me feel bad let's say if I would tell her, babe, I'm gonna go salsa every Wednesday. She would not stop me from doing it. She would not make me feel bad either. Because
Okay.
Women have this thing that they could not tell you not to do something, but they make you feel bad.
You
so
feel
you
the
don't do it.
aura. It's an aura
Like
that they create.
They're like, it's okay. But then they do stuff, or how they say it that you're like, it's not okay. So they make you feel bad sometimes. Not all of them, but a lot of them do that. And men also do certain things too.
Exactly.
I feel like some like women would be okay with somebody like you that goes out recreationally, salsa dancing. But then, for example, as an instructor, it's like, when you make money out of this, you get the benefit and the happiness of teaching others something that they thought they were never capable of doing. So it's like, is she really going to understand why it is that you do it? Your intentions behind it, or
I mean, but when it comes to you being an instructor, that's como que es más pasable as if I'm the student going somewhere else to some place
every single day,
every single day
week.
to dance with different people and
that's-
this and that,
But that's where
Like, what are you in for? You get what I'm saying?
but that's where trust come in.
And communication.
You
And
shouldn't be
communication,
you should
exactly.
not be in a relationship if you don't trust your partner.
Exactly, and
Simple.
it also comes down to maturity, right, and open mindedness. If you're open minded, and you're not so closed off, it helps. It helps because if you can't seem to understand, oh my God, why do they have to go to this constantly? Why do they, like you're constantly fighting that person to not it wears on both of you, right? Like anything else.
And I'm speaking for experience because I've done it. I'm not an angel. I've done mistakes. I've done that too. I've been I don't trust my partner and it doesn't work out.
It doesn't.
So that's why I could say that because it's happened to me.
Exactly, and so have I. I've made my mistakes. I've done what I've done, and I'm telling you, I'm not like you guys. I don't dance recreationally, and for me, it's been a working process for me, like to understand why and how come. But joy is joy. You can't explain joy. Joy doesn't have an explanation. It just makes you happy. Like for instance, me, I can run 2, 3, 4, 5 miles. It makes me happy. And I want my partner to understand, hey, at this time on this day for the next however long I want to run every day.
Now, Mario, I got a question. I wanted to ask you a question. Do you feel sometimes slaggy, right?
No,
No?
No?
we're good. We're good.
Check.
Check.
We're good.
Okay, we're good now. I'll give you this example if it's echoes.
We're good.
You're good? You hear me good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Has it happened to you before that sometimes you I forgot what I was gonna say, guys. Sorry.
Okay, so to pick up from the last time, talking about like you not liking salsa music, but I've been in your household before, and for example, you like to listen. I don't know the correct terminology, but like Mexican music. Or
Yeah.
What's the
Just
proper name?
Ranchero, no?
Rancheras.
Ranchera.
Yeah.
And I know Kat is not a fan of it,
But she's grown to love it.
but she's grown to
Appreciate
maybe
it.
not love it.
No,
but,
no.
But let you have your moment.
Exactly.
But let you.
Exactly. And I feel like it takes, like Orly said earlier, it takes two to tango, right? It's a working process. And you learn, like for instance, I'm sure Johnny's a huge gamer.
Huge.
He's a huge gamer. And I know he loves to freaking play, but maybe at first your partner's like, but why are you always stuck on that damn thing? Why can't you, it comes with that give and take. It can't be all for you and it can't be all for them, right? And I think I've learned that. And I've been in my relationship almost 5 years now, and it's a process.
Right, and the hardest part is when you're somebody that you get tired of doing one thing like super easily. Like you get bored of doing this thing, and all of a sudden you're into this thing that obviously she's
That's
never
me.
experienced you.
Right.
Having those experiences with her, and that moment, at that very moment, they all go like, "Hey, wait a minute, like you're not into this. Like, what's going on?"
and-
You're like, "Bro, I like this. Like, there's not much to it. Like, I like doing this. I like doing it now. I'm enjoying doing this now." They start like limiting you.
Right.
That's what you don't want.
Now, I remember my question. It comes into that too. What you're saying.
It's about time.
Yeah. Do you think that's some? Let's say you like gaming, right? And sometimes I can't talk about this.
I like gaming, not game me.
No, no,
Oh, he sounded like he said game me.
no. I can't. This thing se oye mal.
You're good. You're good.
Disconnect it and use the other one.
I'm listening.
Yeah, but when I listen to myself, como que me hace confundirme.
Can you listen through that one? There's one on the floor. Look. That one early.
Espérame, let me see.
So like, what's it called? So about the whole like picking up, new hobbies. Um, lately I've picked up on golf for some reason.
Golf?
Yeah,
Damn. I've never golfed.
I've played. I have my own set.
it's
Yeah?
Yeah, I like
It's
it.
fun.
It's different.
and thankfully, out of nowhere she was like, "Oh, so now you're into golfing? All right, go golf." And I'm like, "This is a little suspicious."
Nah, but you
Super
see,
sus.
That's the thing though. That goes back to that open mindedness. Like it takes, at least for me, I'm a very like structured. Like if it's not like this anymore, why does it have to be something else? I'm like that, and I'm very rigid, and it's hard for me to be, to stop one thing and say, well, I'm gonna do this now. It's
Right.
But I feel like in my relationship, at least, I've learned that if you're more open-minded to something and you're more willing and you're more accepting, it's easier because you take the person with the good and the bad, especially if you love them, right?
Right. But let's go somewhere else with this. Let's say you're already with this person for like X amount of time. I don't know, a year. And all of a sudden, I don't know, man. You used to be somebody that used to hang out with your boys a lot,
That happens a lot.
right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you're no longer hanging out with the boys. The boys want to go out to the bar, to whatever it is the boys want to go out to. And ever since you've been with this person, let's say when you met the person, you used to go out a lot, right? With the boys.
Were they okay with that? When you in the beginning?
Yeah, let's say in the beginning they were okay, like let's just put it this way, they were not hurt by it,
Okay.
right?
They weren't affected by it.
Okay.
And all of a sudden one night, the boys want to go out. That person says no. Where? Why? What do you mean why? Just want to have some fun with the boys. Why not? Should it be that way? Should it not? What do you guys think?
That was my question before, but for some reason I was having trouble.
That's what you were gonna ask?
Yeah, something like that. Sometimes you feel like, let's say you want to do that, and you try talking to your partner, but she doesn't want to understand you, even when you're telling her, listen, I used to do this, you should trust me, but
Yeah, it comes down to trust, right?
So, quick question about that: are all of your boys in a relationship, or are most of them in a relationship? What is it that they like to do?
Oh yeah, let's say that all your boys are in a relationship,
Okay.
and all of a sudden they just want to hang out, man. I don't know. It could be playing volleyball and freaking,
I don't think it should be a problem. Maybe if that person that day is not in the mood to go, maybe they should allow you to go, and they stay behind, or maybe they can go.